Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. This is the slogan with which the country reverberated in 1965 when we had the war with Pakistan. But I'm going to tell you something about the man behind the slogan, because we often say Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Sometimes we say it very routinely. Sometimes we don't really imagine the real significance of this term, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. So I'm going to tell you something about how this slogan came about and something about the person behind the slogan. You see, today when we sit in 2024, we'll have to go back to what India was in 1962. It was perhaps the most dangerous decade for India. There was the time when there was insurrection, insurgency all around. You know, people and many parts of the country were really in very difficult situations. We had language agitations across the country. China was on our borders, and one will have to admit the fact that we got quite a drubbing from China in 1962. Foreign powers were flexing their muscles. They thought that India may not be able to survive, because they felt that how will India come up? How will India grow? We had just been through a very terrible partition in 1947. Our food grain reserves were low. Our morale was slightly shattered because of 1962 operations. And that was the time when Shastri, Lal Bahadur Shastri, took over as the Prime Minister of our country. And although his term as the Prime Minister was rather short, he served the country for only 18 months. But those 18 months, to my mind, are transformative moments for this country. And let's examine how. You see, I think, are we getting it right? Okay. Okay. Yeah. You see, in 1965, we were a ship-to-mouth existence, because if a nation has to import 1/10 of its food grains from outside, then the country cannot be strong. In fact, only those countries have been strong which have been able to secure their own food. The downfall of Soviet Union, the collapse of a lot of institutions in China, the collectivization in Tanzania, all that is a simple reminder that a country which cannot have enough food for itself cannot hold its head high, you know, because you need to first feed yourself. So, at that point of time, we were considered to be a basket case, a triage. A triage is that category of medical people who are not likely to be saved, and therefore even the medical professionals think it's not worth spending time on them. So India was in such a situation. And the fact was that it is only when Shastri ji decided, in fact the credit for Green Revolution has been shared by Mrs. Gandhi also, but the person who actually brought about Green Revolution in this country was Shastri. Where it was Shastri who felt that the expansion of food grains will not happen by simple area expansion. It will happen when you give technology to the farmer. And at that point of time, a lot of people felt that, look, the farmers are not educated, the farmers are not well trained. How will they manage new seeds? How will they manage these tractors? How will they manage the new production system? But Shastri had faith in the people, and he said, let's do it. And remember that the Green Revolution, which transformed the country, led by Swaminathan, Shivaraman, Subramaniam, under the leadership of Lal Bahadur Shastri, that is what transformed India. Because you cannot be a great country unless you can feed yourself. And for that he said, Jai Kisan, because unless the Kisan is secure, you do not have a secure future. Another great innovation, another great support that he gave, we've all heard of Amul today. Amul is the world's largest brand. The world's largest brand, Amul, came about because there was complete support of Shastri to Varghese Kurian. In fact, in late 1964, he spent a night in the house of a person whose name was Punjab Rao Deshmukh in Kheda district, and he thought with him, he worked with him, and he told Dr. Kurian, replicate Anand throughout the country. And that's how we have Amul today, which is the world's greatest brand insofar as milk and milk products is concerned. So credit again goes to Jawan, credit again goes to Shastri. Now, you know, I think there is a little confusion about slides, but let's go on to whatever the slides say. Now, the point was that Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan had galvanized the nation. And let me tell you something about Jai Jawan also. We'll have to go perhaps a few slides piche. Yes. You know, 1965, I'm very glad that we have in the very front row a general and an air marshal sitting with us today. With my salutations to Marshal Bands and to General Rawat. Let's look into what was the situation in 1965. In 1965, we were fighting a war against Pakistan. Pakistan felt that after 1962, India's back is broken. They felt, what will this little man do? I mean, they felt that, you know, this dhoti-clad man will not be able to compete with them. That's what they felt. There was a debacle in 1962. We have to accept it. Only those who do not accept history will, I mean, if we don't accept what happened in history, we won't be able to rectify it. So there's a beautiful book written by R.D. Pradhan, who was the secretary to Y.B. Chauhan. The name of the book is From Debacle to Resurgence. And in fact, that was it. I want to tell you that in 1962, the song which was on everyone's lips was Lata Mangeshkar's song, जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी ज़रा आँख में भर लो पानी, ये मेरे वतन के लोगों ज़रा आँख में भर लो पानी. That was the slogan in 1962. We were crying for people who had died. By 1965, the slogan was कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, गीत खुशी के गाए जा, ये ज़िंदगी है कौम की, तो कौम पे गवाए जा. So, you know, this transformation in 3 years' time was a true recognition for the Jawans of this country. Because in history, for the first time in history, someone crossed the borders of India into Gandhar and Afghanistan was Ranjit Singh. But remember, Ranjit Singh was the head of the Lahore Darbar. Shastri was the Prime Minister of India, and the first time Indian troops crossed the borders and flew the flag on police stations in Lahore and Sialkot districts was under the leadership of Lal Bahadur Shastri. And that is why the slogan, Jai Kisan. So friends, what I want to share with you is that, this is a problem with technology, but you see, issue is, the point which he was saying is that we must understand the difference between defeat and defeatism. It is possible that we will face defeats in life. No one can have a successful run throughout. There will be moments when you will be defeated. But it is not defeat that you have to be scared of. It is not defeat that you have to be concerned with. You have to be concerned with the attitude. You cannot be defeatist. It is defeatism which is the problem. It is not defeat which is the problem. Now, I want to tell you, who was Lal Bahadur? He was a short man, 5 feet 2 inches, diminutive, not very tall. In fact, you know, in the talks that you see between him and Ayub, I mean, Ayub is 6 feet and he is 5'2". In fact, jokingly, somebody has said, how will you talk? He says, well, he'll have to look down. I'll only have to look up because, you know, the tall man will have to look down. So he also had a great sense of humor. But remember, he was born in poverty. His mother was widowed at 22. He grew up in a household of school teachers in Mughal Sarai Junction. And he imbibed the virtues of truthfulness, simplicity, hard work, and most importantly, commitment to his word. Commitment to his word. That is something which few political leaders have, but he had a great commitment to his word. He went on, I forgot to mention one thing, that he was born Lal Bahadur Verma, but he dropped his caste title. He said, I do not want this title. Shastri was a degree that was conferred upon him when he completed his education in the Kashi Vidyapith. Now, he had a great teacher, Nishkameshwar Mishra, but what he learnt in this Kashi Vidyapith and in the school was punctuality and discipline. Very important, punctuality and discipline, always present before he was expected to arrive. Accounting for every pie, accounting for every pie. And I use the word pie because when he was growing up, we had things like pies and dumries and paisas. You know, this is this generation here, even I have not seen pies and dumries, but I'm told that there used to be pies and dumries. Ability to frame an argument based on facts, because we often argue without factual knowledge. So one of the lessons from Shastri is that you must argue on the basis of facts. Focus on the written word. What you write and what you say is something which will never come again. That is the moment that is gone. Once you have spoken a word, once you've written something, that's for posterity. And last but not the least, the art of listening. You must listen to people. And Shastri was a great listener. When he went to Assam, that agitation appeared, that the agitation would never end. He said, okay, talk. They talked for 3 days. And then there was some consensus. Same thing he did when there was an incident in Hazratbal. He went and listened. When you keep on listening to people, when you make people listen to each other, there's a lot of things that can happen. Okay. You know, every person has turning points in his or her own life. In his life, the turning points came when he quit school. He was 17 when he quit school. Because Mahatma Gandhi said that he will have nothing to do with foreign education, and his school was affiliated to the United Provinces Board, so he quit school and he joined the Kashi Vidyapith. There he met Lala Lajpat Rai, who was looking for volunteers for the Servants of People's Society. And then what happened was that Lajpat Rai invited Purushottam Das Tandon to become the chairman of the SOPS, the Servants of People's Society. Then they moved to Allahabad. In Allahabad, he got the chance to meet Nehru. And then he was in charge of a report called the Congress Agrarian Committee Report in 1935, which went into the entire domain of why farmers are poor, why are paupers, why is peasantry pauperized in our country. Then there were the 5 jail yatras, and he has mentioned that it was during the jail yatras that he got a lot of chance to read and write. And look at the eclectic range of reading, from Karl Marx to Harold Lasky to Swami Dayanand, Swami Vivekanand. So that's something which I must share with everyone here, that we must have a very eclectic range of reading. We should not confine our reading only to management or to philosophy or to history or to geography, because at the end, every subject is connected. I mean, everything in the world is connected. He also translated the biography of Mary Curie in Hindi. Mary Curie was the greatest inspiration for Lal Bahadur Shastri. This I also did not know till I started my research on Lal Bahadur Shastri. Okay, friends, last 2 slides. What do we learn? The first thing that we learn is that an individual's real strength does not come from his physical stature. Just because you are 6'5" doesn't make you great. Your physical stature is not the most important aspect. Second, does not come. Your success will not come because you've been born into a Rai Bahadur or into this family or into that family. Success will come when you work for it. Third, it will not come just because you've attended a great institution. Attending a great institution is good, but that is not the be-all and the end-all. If you actually look at it, look at the thousands of kids who graduate from Ivy League colleges. Everyone does not succeed. Just because you've been to an Ivy League is not a passport to your success. It does not come from aggression or aggressive behavior. So where does success come from? Success comes from knowing how to handle your thing. Okay. It comes from conviction to a cause. Whatever cause you take. It could be philately, it could be sports, it could be, winning a gold medal, it could be cracking an exam, it could be being a successful father, being a successful mother, being a successful brother, running a great school like the DIS, anything. But once you have that passion, you must have a conviction to a cause, a vision for the future, and an ability to sacrifice the short term for the long term, because often we get caught that I want this today, I want this today. Obviously, if you want everything today, then you are not saving for the rainy day. And ultimately in life, it is patience and perseverance which will count. The ability to sacrifice the short for the long term, adherence to truth, and walking the talk. You know, practicing what you preach is something which is very, very important. And last but not the least, retain your sense of humor. Because in life, you need that little sense of humor to not take yourself very seriously. Because you must know that life is an ecosystem. So many people are connected to it. So friends, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Thank you.